Seth from Philly. Shout out to Seth because he's been calling us, and
Seth's
I
a
respect.
legit
Even though I
fan.
went off on him, he's a legit Philly fan. I respect him. 610. Seth from Philly. Niners look unstoppable. Purdy plays 60 minutes every week, completely untouched. Bird's red zone woes are slowly getting better. December 3rd matchup should be super fun. NFC turning out exactly like we thought it seems. December 3rd is circled on the calendar. Now, a lot of people are saying that game's going to get flexed. Well, Fox can protect that game and say, no. We're broadcasting that game. So if it's a 125 kickoff, and if I could get a red-eye flight back for Baby Chez's birthday, I'm going to that football game. I'm doing everything possible to get to that football game.
Hi, I'm Bunte Hill, and when me and Ricky Fowler are flying NetJets personally, we take the NetJet plane.
I wish I could afford that. But I didn't. As soon as the show's over, I didn't need to look for flights for that game. 925 Comcast Business Text Line. There's a story here from last night. Dan Quinn was a defensive coordinator in Dallas, which was Kyle Shanahan, boss in Atlanta, who blames Kyle for losing the Super Bowl against New England when Kyle was the OC. Kyle embarrassed Dan Quinn last night.
I think Kyle's just trying to win.
But Dan Quinn not stepping up for Kyle Shanahan, saying that, hey, he blew the 28-3 lead. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth that an offensive coordinator gets blamed for blowing a 28-3 lead. Dan Quinn, you're the defensive coordinator. You had a 25-point lead. You scored 28 points against Belichick. You should win that football game.
Do you think there's any way in the world that they fire McCarthy and put Dan Quinn as coach?
Maybe, or maybe they call Jim Harbaugh.
For the rest of the year, I'm saying. At some point. Well, we're not there, obviously.
We're not there yet. They got bigger problems.
Well, that NFC East looked really formidable. Now with the Daniel Jones neck injury, them playing the way that they are.
The Giants are done.
The Commanders.
You can't buy into them.
No.
It's the Eagles' division to lose.
Yes, and it feels like Detroit, the Eagles,
and the Niners. That's your top three in the NFC.
And I'm sure another team will have, Arizona's plucky. They're done. I know
they're done.
Seattle. I think is still
Seattle's the next team to look at.
The Rams are plucky.
Now, what we need to see is Seattle better than Dallas? Dallas may be the fifth best team in the NFC.
I need to see more from Seattle before I make that conclusion.
Let's go to Antonio in Oakland.
I think that real quick, Dallas is a good team. They just got the crap kicked out of them last night. I think they're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team. But there's 7 teams that can claim that stick. Are they a Super Bowl contender? Are they a Super Bowl contender?
With Dak, no.
Antonio in Oakland, what's happening?
We're going to take your other kneecap.
Man, that was a shellacking last night, man. Like, they look like the Monstars. They look like the Dynasty Warriors. I love being there, man.
Antonio, is this my guy who I seen out there on the Bud Light patio last night?
Yeah.
What's up, dog?
You're from Oakland, man. What's up, Shastmeister? I seen you, man. You're going to the restroom. You probably drink a bunch of beers, but we're all
water
yesterday, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
Hey, man, I love that game. Like prime time, beating that tail and proving that we're the best team in football. We got the best offense and defense. And Brock Purdy is the truth. He's an MVP candidate. He deserves some respect, man.
No doubt.
Put respect on that man's name.
Hey, Antonio. Antonio, that Bud Light section was going off last night. There were some. I'll just say it this way. There were some outfits last night.
Don't be snitching. Don't just stay
Come
away
on,
from
Antonio.
Stay away from the snitching.
What a sight to see. It was like the club last night over there.
It was some, even Anna said.
It was like a club.
And Anna saw some people out there. She goes, boy, they're out there wearing it's not a basketball game. They're out there wearing their birthday suits.
Right.
People were fitted, I'll say.
I love it.
Dak Prescott,
Antonio
14
was
to 24.
dancing in the first quarter.
He's always dancing.
He was dancing
That's
in the
what
first
he does.
quarter.
14 to 24, 153 yards for Dak Prescott, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions from his defense. You talk about ball hawks. Well, you got an interception from Warner, got an interception from Oren Burks, you got an interception from Tashawn Gibson. Again, when we're not talking about the safeties, that's a good thing. We're not talking about
making plays.
They were making plays. We're not talking about the offensive line because they held up. Nobody's concerned about McKivitz anymore, huh?
They tried D'Lo and Travis Ward, and they both made plays.
They both made plays. You know what? I want to get into the zone right now.
Uh-oh.
Close your eyes. Bring the crystals. It's Toni in Oakland. Toni in Oakland, my dear. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You guys have been busy. Okay, no crystals. But this is what you do for the doubters. It just came to me. Let Purdy call his own plays the way Stabler did with the Raiders. This dude can think outside the box. He is a vessel of God. He would be able to call his own plays. So you want to try this? Instead of having all those people in his ear and whatever, let him do it. And this will prove. And you know what? That's the reason why with Jesus, they had to have John a Baptist point the dude out. He had to get everyone ready because most people, I was at a bar, I was listening to these guys. I bumped into their conversations. They don't feel it. They can't understand Purdy.
They can't.
I said, have you guys played a sport? And they go, yeah. Ever been in the zone? Sure. I go, tell me about it. These guys can't feel a thing. Hardly anyone can feel someone in the zone. If you can't feel someone in the zone, you
Tony.
can't tell about Purdy.
Hey, Tony.
You feel me?
Tony, you felt that zone from day one. You felt it from day one.
Did.
I feel it from you through the airwaves.
And so do you, because you know what? In one of our conversations, I could feel you mirroring it.
Hey,
you know
Tony,
what? You got it.
Tony, I feel everything you say. You got it.
I know you do.
I'm always, when you call, you get me in the zone.
Let Purdy call his own game.
Hey, you know what? I'm with it. Whatever works, Tony. Whatever works. Thank you, Tony, for the call. I love you, Tony.
I mean, I've heard of the video game God of War. It's a great video game, very popular. My brother loved it. Vessel of God. Purdy is a vessel of God.
Hey, man.
Ken Stabler meets God meets John the Baptist. All right.
I feel the zone from Tony.
But other than that, what can't he do?
Hey, Tony, she's cooking. And she's right. Let Purdy cook. Just let him keep percolating. That's all he's doing.
So, okay, my guy, I got to give a shout. We had a little league game, whatever it's called, Pony League game.
It's not Friday, Shasky.
In the morning.
Shout out
no,
to
just
Friday.
hear me out. And my boy Jimmy Suda, he kept saying to me, Shasky, Niners are going to win by 3 touchdowns. Book it. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. I said, Jimmy, it's going to be a close game. He goes, no, 3 touchdowns. I go, all right, I'll bet you a steak. He goes, all right. First quarter, he goes, text me. I look down and he goes, I smell my steak. I like it medium. And he just keeps texting me. And then after the end of the game, he goes, what'd I tell you? So I got to give Jimmy Suda love. Jimmy, you believed when I didn't. They won not just by 17. They kicked the ever-living crap out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dude, Tony and JP from the Union's right on the money. Said Purdy's like the John the Baptist because how he baptized the Cowboys defense. Tony knows what's up. Mr. Irrelevant from the 775 Comcast Business Sex Line. Mr. Irrelevant is now called a vessel of God. The best description I've ever heard for Purdy. Wow.
And out walks a vessel of God to quarterback the Niners.
Tony believes. Tony understands the zone that Purdy's in. Has everybody start to understand? I haven't heard from the doubters yet. Look, man, I doubted Purdy. It's a long time ago.
I did. We all did.
It was a long time ago.
You have to buy in.
But there's somebody out there who does doubt him. And I wonder last night if he erased all the doubt from a lot of haters' heads.
But what is it? What would be if you were? What is it?
I don't know what the haters
System,
velocity,
playmakers,
throwing the ball down the field, not just slants, not just dink and dunks.
Do we think that Brian Hoyer would be doing what
No.
All right. Do we even think Jimmy Jimmy was a good player for the Niners? He wasn't the greatest, but Jimmy never looked like this.
No, not even close.
I mean, come on. And I'm not trying to hate on. I'm really not. I'm not trying to hate on Jimmy. Like we've seen a lot of quarterbacks. Like even Cap. Like go back and watch. I love Cap. Cap's slaying it. Don't get me wrong. But when you get to that third, fourth read, he struggled. That's what we all learned about progressions from Trent Dilfer. He's not getting through his progressions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy's the progression god. With Tony.
The only thing to worry about is Aaron Banks' biceps. Shanahan spoke on it yesterday. Said it's an upper bicep injury. How serious is that injury? There's Quentin Nelson in Indianapolis playing some really good left guard.
He's a Hall of Fame
Aaron Banks
talent.
is on the short list for playing the best football in the trenches in all of football. I mean, Dickerson from the Eagles is a really good guard. He's physical and
Feliciano
nasty.
wasn't doing it for you last night?
It's fine. I didn't notice him.
Well, that's a good thing.
But Banks has been phenomenal. Like last year going into the season, I was more worried about the offensive line. I didn't know what Banks had. I didn't know what Brindle had. I didn't know what Burford had. I didn't know what McKivitz had. He was a backup, obviously, to Mike McGlinchey. We knew what he had, and we were all worried about that. I'm not worried about Banks. I wasn't worried about Banks coming into this season, nor was I worried about Burford or Brindle. They've been that solid alongside Trent Williams. Biggest question mark was Colton McKivitz. We didn't notice Colton McKivitz yesterday, did we?
I saw McKivitz with a big nasty play where guys were getting all piled up, and he came flying in and blasted somebody. And your boy 26, by the way, 26. You were sitting near their family.
Lando,
whatever his name is. Why was he trying to like tackle Debo around like the shoulders? Dog, you got to go low.
That is a very undisciplined football team.
What are you doing
The
on the
Cowboys are
edges?
so-
On the edges?
The Cowboys, I'm glad we got rid of them.
Debo
We dusted
looks
them.
so good.
I'm so tired of talking about